come to this naval hospital in California to talk to a man who was on the aircraft carrier Hornet as she fought to the death in the South Pacific. No particular heroes are being singled out. Here men are healing from the wounds of grim battle in the Pacific. Among them, the Navy and the Marines, is our man from the Hornet, Tom Kuykendall, electrician's mate, first class. What was your regular duty on the Hornet, Tom?
Well, I was in charge of ventilation. My battle station was in a repair party below decks.
Were you expecting trouble that day, Tom?
Yeah, plenty of trouble. The Japs had a big task force out off the Santa Cruz Islands looking for us, and we were looking for them.
Yeah, if the Japs had got by you guys, they'd probably try to knock us off Guadalcanal.
They would have knocked you guys off if we weren't there.
Well, they never did.
Well, anyway, our planes were off deck looking for the Japs, and the Jap planes were out looking for us. Our task force was steaming along, ready for the fighting that was bound to come. And brother, it came. Every man was at his battle station. When they spotted the first Jap planes, a yell went up, and all hell started popping. The Carrier X was first to get it. With its planes off fighting the Jap task force, it didn't have much air protection, but its gun crews put up a great fight. There goes one of the 50 Jap planes knocked down in the first 10 minutes of fighting. And that burning oil is all that's left of other Jap planes. During this breather in the battle, our men worked like hell to get the fires under control. Back from an attack on the Japs, an American plane with its tail rudder shot off lands as near to its carrier as possible. Two destroyers hurried to the rescue. And now the second wave of Japs comes over. Looking at these pictures is almost like being where I was on the Hornet, below deck. You can see what they're doing to our ships, but you can't see what our pilots are doing to the Jap force. I know for sure, though, that on all ships our men fought with all the guts in the world, trying to put out fires and knock down the Japs and keep their ships afloat all at once. On the Hornet, I was knocked out by the first bomb and burned pretty bad. But whether you're hit or on your feet fighting, you never forget how you all went through this together, giving everything you had. That's the closest to being what they call brother Americans I know of. The Navy knew this was going to be a battle royal, but it was willing to risk its flat tops for what was at stake. I don't mind telling you we were glad to hear that final score in the Battle of the Santa Cruz Islands. 100 Jap planes destroyed, 50 more planes probably in the soup, 3 Jap carriers damaged by the planes that had taken off from our decks, 1 battleship damaged, 5 cruisers damaged. We lost a carrier and a destroyer. On a damage list were 3 carriers, a battleship, and 5 cruisers. That's tough fighting, but we had a job to do, and the Hornet sure did her share. Well, we'd taken plenty from the Jap planes and given plenty, but they couldn't sink the Hornet. The guys that got hit were taken off to carry on to a destroyer and then transferred to a bigger ship. I don't know. That could be me in a stretcher. Later on, the Navy ordered our ships to sink the Hornet because she was in a bad way and might fall into enemy hands. They sure hated to do it. Later on, the Navy ordered our ships to sink the Hornet because she was in a bad way and might fall into enemy hands. They sure hated to do it. So that's how it was on a Hornet and the rest of the ships. A lot of real action. As long as we're convoying Army transports safely and seeing that our buddies on shore stations were protected from seaborne attack, we couldn't complain. The Japs asked for trouble, and I'm sure they've been sorry ever since.